Today is something different. We have to trench the well into the barn. So if you remember, under here, about 5 or 6 foot down, is a 4-inch PVC pipe, schedule 30, that runs up into the building here. We need to trench from 200 feet away. So it's across the driveway here, across this lumber pile here, and then another 170, 180 feet through the woods to the blue well, or the blue pressure tank down here. Lots of downed trees in the way, and a few standing ironwood that'll need to be taken down. Here at the well, we'll need to get about 4 or 5 foot down. We're going to come this week and install a pitless adapter. So right now the water is coming straight out the top of the well, and what a pitless will do, will send the water sideways out of the well, but way down where a freeze is not a problem. We'll still have the wellhead here, but it'll just be capped off, so no freeze risk. The power wire, which is the 240 volt underground, in addition to the, I think, 1.5 inch PEX water line, will run straight through the woods and then across the driveway into the barn. So we have to trench it. To start off, we're gonna move stuff out of the way. Hey, Rookie Dog. What? Oh, hi. So we got the lumber moved. Not so bad. I got the grapple on. God, I haven't used this grapple for a long time. Since we started framing, basically. So 3 months, the grapple sat, and it's going to be called into service again today. Lots to do with it. And then after that, I think the fork will go back on. The fork is a lot more useful when you're building above ground. I'm going to start off by pulling some of this mound back and filling this area in here. This is kind of left over from last winter when we cleared this land. Big potholes everywhere that were probably big ice balls that looked nicely graded at the time, but clearly now are not. Also, I had plowed so much dirt, and we've got all this topsoil back here, so I'll pull that back. After that is to try to go through and clear a path. We'll get the chainsaw out, cut some trees down, and just start clearing away all the debris. Once we get a clear path, then I think I'll be a little more comfortable trenching. Before all that though, I gotta get the power cord out of here. Our well has had, a power cord laying in the woods all this time. It basically runs from our temp power station over there 200 feet to the well, and then obviously all the way down the well to the pump. I gotta get it out of the way, otherwise I'm sure to hit it. First few steps in clearing are done. Basically, I pulled out a few trees, gathered up some fallen stuff, and leveled out a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, just want a nice stable surface for backhoeing. At around this point, so much of this is dead. That cherry is rotten. I don't want to make this a land clearing project. I just want to get through, trench, and get on with it. So I think I can leave this guy that's hanging over. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Unfortunately, these couple big ironwoods have to go. This guy here, this isn't so big, but that has to go. And this guy has to go. Kind of a shame. Certainly can't tractor those out. Those will require the chainsaw. I think I'm pretty much at that stage, for better or worse. This guy will drop pretty safely that way. This guy will not drop safely, because it's on this guy, which is rotten. And then this dude, it's gonna get hung up, but not too badly. If it does get hung up, I can knock it over the rest of the way with the tractor, so that should be fine. Let me grab the saw and see what I can do. We haven't used the saw for some time. I'm actually a little worried. We left the ethanol gasoline in it all winter long. This stuff is ethanol free, so hopefully if that stuff's bad, this will give it enough of a kick to start off again. we'll bring the tractor in here and see if we can pluck them out all safely without damaging the other trees too much. Busy morning already. Just got a call from the lumber yard, and they're going to be delivering our materials for the loft inside the barn. We have 24-foot LVL headers and then I-joists that span across it. That's all being delivered this morning. Also, I talked to the well company, and they're going to be coming this afternoon to install the pitless, so I have to have this trenched soon. So we're making progress. I think we're about a quarter done with the trench. We're putting it between 4 and 5 foot. The frost line here is 42 inches. The reason I'm digging it deeper is because collapses are constant. So Robert's in the trench cleaning it up after the backhoe. When I hit a big tree, I'm trying to steer around it a little bit to avoid damaging the root clusters. We should be able to get done, hopefully by the time they get here, but it's getting close. The guys came here, did the pitless. They put the pipe into the trench, put the wire into the trench. You can kind of see the two of them down there, 240 volt underground, 12.2, and then an inch of pipe. The trench is 200 foot from the well to the corner of the barn, plus an extra 20 foot to get under the foundation and up. Pitless is installed, no big deal. It's pretty nice. Nice looking little well cap. We've got a lot of cleanup to do today, and I've got to bury this thing. It was easy to dig with a backhoe. It's gonna be a heck of a lot harder to rebury. Just maneuvering the tractor in the woods here. Wow, it's cold out here. Just wet, damp, very cold. This is not the final location for the pressure pump. You basically have it sitting here. It'll eventually go back in the utility room. You can see the pipe and power coming right up there. This should allow us to continue to fill up our water throughout the winter. We'll have to enclose it in foam and heat it, but should be good. A lot of backfilling to do. So I'll get the tractor going and figure out how to get out of this spot. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. So I think this is more than smooth enough, smoother than the normal woods. A lot of sand content, unfortunately, now in this topsoil. It's not going to grow very well. If we ever bring in any topsoil, I may sprinkle some back here just to kickstart the regrowth. Besides that, we'll just have to wait for leaves over a couple seasons to start building up some more topsoil. Shouldn't be too bad. A lot of these little trees that I kept in here, I chewed up. I didn't make a lot of attempt to save them. They're just small ironwood, and frankly, I don't really care if they die. We may cut them down anyway, just to get them out of here. They're an understory tree, not too big of a deal. The good news is we were able to completely save all the larger trees, which is nice. Robert's been hand filling in the well. I helped out, backed the tractor over it a few times to compact it, but it's looking good enough for our purposes. It's a nice looking wellhead, actually, very clean. Once the house is built, we will have to dig up this well again, and instead of having the pipe run straight that way, we'll have a T and it'll go off to the house there, and then we'll move the pressure tank to the house as well. So frankly, that's probably 2 years off. But for now, I think we're satisfied with the refill of this area. We've got some trees to pick up, so I'll switch back to the grapple. Robert will probably grab the chainsaw. We'll clear up some of the trees that we chopped. I'm not a huge fan of making a mess for my future self, so I'd like to tidy up this area here, and then we have a couple trees over by the compost bin that we'll process as well. All right, this is finally done. We got all the trees processed. Good chunk of it went in the firewood piles, and the rest went down to the brush pile at the end. You know, we're not here to clean the woods, but you know, eventually this is our backyard. We would like a little bit of it kind of cleaned up. So we picked up after ourselves, and everything we kind of knocked down or disturbed today was picked up. Still a lot to do, but that's for another day. At least the well is covered up and safe from freezing. Our tank is in here, as you can see. We're going to create an insulation box around it using some of the rigid foam that we have over there, and we'll get a 55-gallon drum heater blanket, and we'll wrap it. It's got an adjustable thermostat, so we'll set it for something like 45 degrees Fahrenheit, and just let it sit. That should be fine for the winter. And then we'll just rush to get this place dried in. I feel like the well was a distraction from the barn, which is desperately needing to be sheathed, but it had to be done, and I'd rather do it now than wait until we have a problem. So now we get to go back to sheathing, right?